Good day, fellow Nigerians. My name is Peter Bute, the author of the book War Against Poverty. It is my privilege, my honor, and my pleasure, on behalf of the Great Youth Movement Foundation, to welcome you listening to the book summary. My heartfelt thanks and appreciation. In a recent study and a report by a multidimensional agency revealed that Nigeria is the poverty headquarters of the world. War Against Poverty was inspired by the author's exposure to the realities of deprivation and experience heightened by the Nigerian irony of poverty in the midst of plenty. The book is structured into 10 chapters with vibrant thoughts and ideas that serves as a reminder to us all on just how important the war against poverty is in order to actively raise the quality of life for everyone in the society. In his book, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason, that the prosperity of us as a nation depends upon the personal financial prosperity of each of us as individuals. According to Harry Truman, a one-time American president, that man have 4 greatest enemies. Those include poverty, hunger, disease, and illiteracy. But among all of those 4 greatest enemies, poverty comes first and is the worst. It was due to the vicious, the diabolical, and the barbaric attributes of poverty toward man that have largely provoked the writing of this book. Nigeria as a nation has a population of over 180 million people, and only a few million have been able to scale out of poverty, while majority of the masses are wallowing in abject poverty. Over 20 million unemployed youths are running about on the street every day as the figures increases on a daily basis, while a total estimated figure of about 400,000 National Youth Service Corps members have been unleashed from the NYSC orientation camps to their respective places of primary assignment. After their 1 year of primary assignment, they will then be referred to as the reserve armies of labor in the so-called labor market. Meanwhile, the labor market can hardly absorb up to 10% of the entire school output, which include universities, polytechnics, monotechnics, colleges of education, technical colleges, and so on and so forth. Those reserve armies of labor, which embrace an immense multitude, so they engage themselves in something doing in order to keep the body and soul together by begging for small money on skilled jobs, writing all manners of application letters, while some of them getting involved in social vices such as armed robbery, kidnapping, theft, and the likes, and the girls falling victims of sexual harassment, all because of unemployment. As we equally know that the rate of joblessness is extremely on the increase, and we quite understand that our economy is down, that our population is growing exponentially in a geometrical progression, while job employment is growing in an arithmetical progression. That is why we need to war against poverty. Having realized that nothing brings so much pain, suffering, and humiliation like poverty, only those who have experienced poverty that understand the full meaning of it. There is a concentration of poverty in both the urban and the rural areas. Poverty as the greatest of my enemies can be defined as the inability or denial, deprivation of opportunities and choices of living a long, healthy, creative life, and to enjoy a decent standard of living, freedom, dignity, self-respect, and respect from others. Successive governments have attempted to tackle the problems of poverty through various programs over the years. Have identified poverty as the major obstacle in the country. Programs such as National Directorate for Employment, National Poverty Alleviation Programs, Empower, You Win, and so on and so forth. Those programs were put in place by various governments in order to tackle the problems of poverty in both the urban and the rural areas. But in most cases, those programs fail those priorities, due mainly to the overwhelming individualistic, selfish interests of everyone, poor low commitment, and the massive corruption in the country. Psychologically, poverty is a personality trait due to the difficulties of modifying it by most people. It could be observed by some mental and physical traits known to be the symptoms of poverty, which include mental and physical laziness, lack of initiative, ideas, and imagination, lack of plans and implementation, lack of self and financial control, indecision, alibis, and excuses. The vicious cycle of poverty. As long as poverty persists, no one is truly free. Apart from poverty, there's nothing that's more destroying, more demoralizing, and more disempowering to any citizen of any nation. Poverty is a social danger because it encourages criminal activities. It destroys nation state. It impairs education opportunities, particularly for women and children. It also facilitates environmental degradation. It contributes to human trafficking. It undermines the whole society, and it destroys the future of the upcoming generation. Poverty has barricaded the world with hatred, has consumed men's souls with greed and bitterness, and has stepped us into miseries and bloodshed. Poverty is a radicalizer because it has opened up the vacuums which allow predators to move in. That is why the radical terrorist groups use poverty as their recruitment tools. Poverty is a human destroyer because it discourages honesty and makes life more expensive to operate. That is why it is imperative to make the war against poverty a top priority and insist on improved decent standard of living as a matter of urgency. Efforts should be made to encourage and to support those experiencing poverty to become gainfully employed. The book War Against Poverty is not written based on stories but more of practical aspects, plans and strategies of overcoming the striking forces of poverty in our society. I guarantee us that some ideas, plans, purpose will spring into our minds as we read through the principles described in this book and apply them. It contains the best and the most practical ways and means of overcoming poverty. Let's call to mind that money is a good thing, a worthy and a respectful goal that is worth striving for. It is a great element to dwell with. According to Napoleon Hill, that we live in a generation that seems to be consumed by money madness, whereby people are being considered less than the dust of the earth if they cannot display a very fat bank account. That is why relationships and marriages today are being motivated by the money possessed by one or two of the partners. Though fighting poverty should not be viewed as a simple parlor game, but a tough battle that the price is worth fighting. Fighting poverty is a redemptive struggle that we need to confront with passion as a collective responsibilities in this 21st century. So I think it's a high time for we as people, nations, as well as individuals to rise and say to poverty that its time is up by using the recommended principles described in this book, War Against Poverty, written by me. Try and get a copy and go through the principles that is described in the book. Apply and work to the principles. It contains the best and the most practical ways and means of overcoming poverty. It is indeed a mentality changing publication. To get to me or a copy of the book, you can reach me on this telephone number 090-6817-1020. I repeat, 090-6817-1020. Thank you very much, and God bless you as you read the book.
Please do follow us on our social media platform for more updates and comments. On Facebook, Bolijo Media Communications Limited. On Twitter, BOJ_TV. On WhatsApp, 0703-477-8568. Our email, bolijomedia@yahoo.com. For more updates from BOJ TV, kindly click on the subscribe button and the notification bell sign beside.